Every day, journalists make decisions about potential news stories based on news values. As public relations practitioners, understanding these values and how to identify and create news values is central to our practice. This short video explores the central concept of news values. If we think about what news is by definition, it is information about events, facts or opinion broadcast across multiple media channels. The news needs to be relevant and of interest to a significant number of people. So if we think about news as the timely reporting of events, facts and opinions, how do journalists decide what to report on? The answer is found in news value. That is one of 8 values that journalists use to guide their decision making about what is considered news. For PR practitioners, our media releases must also feature strong news value. Let's explore the 8 news values now. The news value of timeliness is one of the most important news values as it relates to immediacy. Timeliness has strong links to breaking and current news. The news value of prominence relates to the central idea of celebrity, where the news value is the individual. So for example, when Kim Kardashian does certain things, it becomes news, not because of what she's doing, but because of who she is. Proximity is about localizing news. It's about giving a local context to a news topic or making it relevant for a local audience. It's based on the principle that people like hearing or reading about events that affect them or their local community. The news value of significance reflects the impact or interest of the topic for a large proportion of the community. For example, topics that relate to public policy, health, welfare or education are considered of high news value because they would or could affect a large percentage of the community. The news value of strange, unusual or quirky is really the entertaining value of the news. So topics such as headless crocodiles, stunts, or just things that are a little bit weird fall into this category. Human interest as a news value relates to the fact that people like to read about people. Topics using this news value provide strong emotional and in-depth perspectives. For example, fundraising organisations such as the Starlight Foundation, Cerebral Palsy League and Mother's Day Classic, who raises money for breast cancer research, use human interest as a key organising news value in their earned media efforts. Most of their media releases offer strong emotional insights about individuals affected or impacted by their particular condition. Conflict is a universal news value that features a debate, difference of opinion or disagreement that may involve a few or many people. While it is not a news value that is often used in a proactive way in terms of media relations, it's still important to identify that this value is of worth and interest to journalists. And finally, the news value of new research, new product, new service or a launch. Now we understand what news values are, how do we, as PR practitioners, use these in our media release writing? Check out the following examples. So if we think about news values as it relates to toilet paper, let's think of 5 that potentially we could use. Timeliness could be the launch of a new product or the announcement of new technology in terms of how the paper is produced or how it's bleached. Prominence, it could be about the support or endorsement by a particular celebrity or even the use by someone like the Broncos. The significance could reflect on the organisation's donation program and its proceeds of sales, investment in third world country hygiene programs, or it could be about the investment in new technology and environmental innovation in production. Unusual, well, the mind wanders, but it could be about how the paper is used, who uses it, where it's used. And finally, human interest. It could focus on a community who benefits from the investment program or an organisation who is using the toilet paper as part of their social responsibility or philanthropic program. Organisations such as the Leukemia Foundation employ a number of news values in their earned media release campaigns to extend both the reach and the significance of their efforts. If you peruse these examples, you will see that proximity and significance feature quite significantly, with human interest in most of these examples. You'll also see a little bit of quirky when the last story, Nanango Bartender Fight Ugly to Beat Blood Cancer, is about how the Ugly Bartender of the Year is in a fun competition. So have a look through some of these and think about how they've used them. And finally, the last example is one we've used in class, which is Vouli trampolines. Vouli employ a number of news values when they're constructing their media strategy. For example, timeliness, they use it to announce new models and new technology. Prominence, they use, for example, endorsement by a celebrity or use by an Olympic athlete for training. Significance, focusing on their contribution to fighting childhood obesity with safe alternative ways of fitness. And proximity, local schools and businesses who use or contribute to Vouli's products. Unusual and human interest also relate to a person who has used it for weight loss and fitness. So a number of different values can be identified there. In summary, journalists use news values to support their decision making. Public relations also uses news values as a central organising concept in their media release writing. Media releases must have a strong news value to be considered newsworthy. So when you are next writing your media release, ask yourself, what is the news value of your topic? And why is this of public interest?